accessed in a timely manner, and upgrade life safety devices. In general, these enhancements will keep public health, safety, personnel, and the citizens they serve safe in the fire department, police department, and our court as they provide and citizens receive services in the present and future COVID-19 environment. Adapting government operations to the pandemic, whether it's video conferencing, software, data updates, case management systems, etc., improving emergency response equipment, enacting COVID-19 mitigation, preventing violence, upgrading public facilities, enhancing technology and equipment support, dispensing with case backlogs, all qualify as legitimate targets for ARPA expenditures. And then basically you've heard the projects here this evening. Just would like to point out in the ordinance itself, if this passes, we basically are saying that we're going to take $5 million of the 5.3 and transfer that into the town's general fund. There will be specific line items that already have been established, and those monies, the ARPA funds, will go into those line items, and we can track those monies as they are spent. But my recommendation is that council basically approve the expenditures for what you've heard here this evening after the money is transferred into the general fund. But then the ARPA committee reconvene and basically review the list again and submit recommend a list and recommendations back to council for funding from the money that is moved into the general fund. I would be happy to answer any questions, and also the amendment, if you want to look on the last page, which is page number 3, you'll see that we're increasing the revenues in the general fund by $5 million. And then expenditures will increase by $5 million. This is the budget now, these are not. And then the line items that are here will be the specific line items where the specific ARPA money was transferred, and we will track expenditures one project at a time. And when you approve these projects, approving the budget, the project budget, will allow us then to set a budget for each project and then track the expenditures for those projects against that budgeted number. So that is how we will account for the funds once they are transferred into the general fund.
Just want to make sure that you understand that this is first reading. So the second reading will be at our February 14th meeting. That will be second reading, Valentine's night. So please bring your Valentine. And we will be allowing an additional public input at that meeting also, prior to the meeting at February. Any questions?
Yes, sir. Could you tell me the difference? We had some questions tonight, the difference between input and a hearing. Tell me the difference when, like we had a committee meeting. I'd like to explain that was a committee meeting, and I was the chair of it. So I give the opportunity for the people to speak that didn't want to speak, but my understanding that was in my discretion, being the chair of the committee. So I chose that night to let them speak, answer questions. But this meeting is a different meeting. It's not a committee meeting. This is a public hearing, where they only allow the 3 minutes. Is that correct?
Well, the difference in this meeting and your meeting is there's no vote taken in your meeting. This is a vote that's taken on the city time. This is a vote, period. So your meeting was not a vote. You could not do that at committee meeting. That's the difference there.
Okay, that's what I was trying to let the
I don't know if Brian's got any more definition. Is that right?
That's right, yes, sir.
Well, I just want the public to know where we stood on the 2 type meetings where would have been a misunderstanding.
That's
Thank you,
right.
sir.
Yes, several questions. So,
I'm sorry.
We need to make a motion to bring it to the floor. before we discuss it. Right, it's already on. I'll make it.
We had a first and a second.
Did you?
Just to be clear, on the attachment with the operating budget, the $5 million, that, is that a separate general ledger account number that's assigned specifically to that?
Yes,
And so this ordinance is wanting to spend $623,000, correct?
the ordinance makes it clear that after the money is transferred, then we will move forward with allowing the public safety departments then to move forward with their projects.
I'm just wanting to try to understand the math.
Okay?
So, we have, where did I see this? Is it $5.3,117,000 that we have in the first installment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This totals $623,000 and $5 million is going into the general fund.
Yes.
So 300,000 of that, 317,000 is gonna be applied to the 623, correct?
The 317,000 will actually stay in the ARPA account. So we're gonna transfer 5 million into the general fund, and after it's transferred to the general fund, then we can spend the 623 out of the general fund.
So where's, if you're gonna put 5 million in the general fund, where's that 317,000 going?
It's still in the bank, it's still under the ARPA umbrella.
We had to do a separate account for this money. We couldn't put it in our, we couldn't even put it in the same bank that we bank with. We had to go with a totally separate bank.
So-
And that part I understand, so I'm just trying to understand, so I'm assuming, which I wanna do, but that account is remaining open, so
Yes.
when the next installment
That's
comes
Have
in,
to.
it will go in there.
Correct.
It's just out of curiosity, are you just making it 5 million to make it a round number and leaving the $317,000 in that account?
Well, it's certainly cleaner, to move the 5 million over, and then the second installment, we'll move the next 5 million. I think it's easier to understand that way. But if we can't use money out of the ARPA fund, that's currently in the separate bank, unless we pass an ordinance and put that into the town's budget. So that money will stay there until another budget amendment is brought to you for review and approval.
And when is that second installment, expected to be getting?
They just gave us a time frame, no certain date.
Sometime in the fall.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to
That's
get all
okay.
my questions answered. Now, we do have a council meeting on February the 14th,
Yes,
at which time, if I heard correctly, there'll be more discussion on how these funds are gonna be spent. Is that correct?
yes.
Or is that will just, wait a second, let me clarify. So, or that'll be just a second reading for this?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. And at that meeting on the 14th, are there any plans to have a proposal for how any additional monies are to be spent out of the ARPA fund?
Yes,
Okay, so does that mean that the ARPA committee will be having a public hearing again so that the public can hear how these how these funds are intended to be spent?
that would be up to the chairman, and to the mayor to call that meeting if they choose to. But, what I intend to do is, on the 14th, is come back with some information about the premium pay and possibly looking at a budget amendment to basically reimburse the town for the premium pay on the 14th.
And reason being is that I've been asked about local charities having, I don't, my personal opinion, and others may have their own opinion, but I have had questions about that our community, most of the public isn't even aware of these funds. And so, you know, our local charities, I don't know, have we reached out to local charities? Have any submitted any requests? Because I think they have been impacted by COVID, certainly. And I was told that small businesses would be able to submit applications for lost revenues. I don't know if any system has been set up for that. And this money, this $10.6 million is really an anomaly that municipalities of once in a lifetime, unless somebody here wins the lottery and wants to donate it to the city. And there are many needs in the city of Easley. And, you know, as the, Mr. Meadows of Green and Finney, partner, mentioned, that, you know, we need to make sure that we use the money for the purpose for which it's intended. And in a memo, which I know we had many today, there was a comment about gray area. And I think that gray area